Hello, paranormal explorers. Hello, explorers. Ghost in the House Han is there. Hello, Han. Welcome. First time at live streaming. So I believe you can hear me well. Sound is good. I hope so. I don't want to be talking and nobody hears me. So welcome. Welcome to the Wednesday live stream. From now on, every Wednesdays, well, for during the winter times, um, I'm gonna live stream the ghost stories, have some guests. Yes, I will have some guests, and yeah, I will continue telling you stories about Quebec, about Quebec, and yeah, if you want to hear my personal history, where I started, well, getting interested in the paranormal, dates back to a long time. Well, and hello, Anne. Good evening. You're a mod now. Yeah, starting reading books in the library in my high school. Well, it's about probably 13, 14 years old. They had that collection about unexplained phenomenons like uh, combustion, autocombustion, or UFOs, and the paranormal. And there were two pictures that really, like, kind of shocked me. And I was really always fascinated by those pictures. The first picture was a monk near an altar, and you see a kid, and the person, when he took the picture, the monk wasn't there. And that picture is still unexplained to this day. And the other picture was a lady, a gentleman, sorry, he took a picture of his wife in a car, and sitting in the back seat of that car was the deceased father of that lady. So that picture as well is still unexplained today. So, well, I was fascinated by those pictures, and I wasn't really a believer at first, but my two experiences that I had made me like kind of believe there's something out there. Because the first time was a Ouija board. I was playing Ouija. I was young. I was dumb. I was playing Ouija with a friend, and it wasn't the planchette that moved. It was the old board that did a 180. Hello, Nanny. Yeah, the whole board did a 180. So I was like petrified. I was like kind of stuttered at first. Sorry, my service dog is kind of going around. Hey, buddy. Hey, want to see everybody? Come. Want to see her? There she is. There's body. So, yeah, the board went 180, and I looked at my buddy. I said, "What the heck do we do?" So we just ran out and never went back there. And the second time, I was working as a security guard in Montreal, and the building where I was working was in between Saint Jacques and Saint Antoine Street in Old Montreal. And Old Montreal, for Canadians or for people from Quebec, or well, for you, my friend from out of the country, uh, Old Montreal is very, very, very haunted because, well, it's where Montreal was founded. And, well, you see on one of my videos, all around Montreal, it was like graveyards. And in the 1850s, about, it was a big cholera outbreak. So they had to bury those. And the city expanded and went over those graves. So, anyways, I was working in a building and I heard the noise, in a room where it wasn't supposed to have anybody in there. So I went in, and a cold, freezing mist of air went through me. And I was so stuttered, I stepped back. I had a wall behind me, and I was so stuttered. I, s- I said, like, spontaneously, next time, knock or close the door. When I said that, the door closed. It was mid August, no wind. It was like 40 degrees outside. Hello, Kindred Paranormal. And don't miss, he's got a video coming up at 9:20, 9:20ish, Kindred, about. So go check him out. They're excellent. And yeah, I will have other creators, if they want to, come and talk about paranormal, how they work, what was their spookiest experiences investigating. So yeah, and yeah, I wanted to tell you a little story, and I will stick in the legend kind of section. I wanted to tell you about uh, over here in Quebec. Most of our history, well, became becomes a legend. Remembered when I talked about, well, the rock in my city here in Grand-Mère, or the Devil's Hole, where the fall is. It was a Jesuit monk that was through in the falls by the Iroquois warriors, and yeah, since then they were calling it the Devil's Hole. So, hello, Rich. So, in the northern part of Trois-Rivières, there was an old ironworks that was founded in about around 1733. About what the all the seigneurie, all that lordship was founded in 1730 by Francois. Remembered Francois Poulain de Francheville. Sorry, my history is a little bit rusted. So he built a big, massive steel mill, built big iron works near the river because the iron deposits in that region was like massive and incredible. So he built it is steel work. But around the 1880s, the steel was running really strong, and the owner of the mill back then, well, he needed wood. So he went to cut some wood on the land of two ladies, the Poulain sisters. And it's said that the Poulain sisters signed a pact with the devil, and they buried their all their riches, jewelry and everything around their land to protect their land, and they threw the key to the river. And where the keys landed, it is said that there's a stream of gas coming out, and when you light it up, well, it's said it's where the keys landed. So there's the legend. And not long after, the mill closed, but it wasn't really because of the Poulain sisters. It's just like industry was getting more and more modern, so they didn't need wood anymore to eat up those ovens. So they closed up the mill. But it makes a good story, though, that the devil cast a spell on the mill and closed up the mill. So yeah, that's quite interesting. And we have lots and lots of history here in Quebec. For those of you who doesn't know, well, when the explorers came in, at first they landed in, well, Nova Scotia, and they built it up, and they established themselves in Nova Scotia, and they went all along the St. Lawrence River and established themselves all along the river. So as long as you're going in the St. Lawrence River, well, it's get like younger and younger. No. So we have a friend in Nova Scotia. His name is Lomar. He's a great creator. He's awesome. He's a great paranormal investigator. Check him out. I hope to one day work with him. He's he's awesome. He's just awesome. The guy is great. So check him out because he's in the most oldest part of Canada, all around Halifax. All that place, it's boiling with history. So check him out, and he does really really great videos, and sometimes he has like incredible proof. My dog's name, her name is Bonnie. She's my service dog. Yeah, I'm a Canadian veteran. I went in Bosnia. Hey, Tex, how are you, bud? Hey, cheers for being here, man. Yeah, I was a Canadian vet. I'm a Canadian veteran. I went in Bosnia in 1995 as a UN peacekeeper. There she is. Come here. Come on. Come on. She's camera shy. Come on. Come on, Fee. Come on. Hi. Yeah. There she is. There's Bunny. Good girl. There you go. Yeah, I went in Bosnia in 1995 as a UN peacekeeper. So, so yeah, I need a service dog now because of my PTSD. And well, talking to you guys and making videos. Sorry, she's playing with my mic. Good girl. All right, yeah, and making videos, chatting with you guys makes me feel ghost. Makes me feel good. Sorry, text just wrote ghost, and I went ghost. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, and if you have any question, go ahead and shoot them out. And yeah, oh, almost forgot. I almost forgot, you guys. This Friday, I went to a place. It's in here in Quebec. It's another old place that was an old seigneurie, an old lordship. It was founded in 1772, I think. Yeah, 1792. It's 350 years this year. So, and the church, well, it's a theater now. There's like concerts and everything. So I'm trying to rent out that church. I went to investigate the cemetery outside, and we've installed our equipment right outside of the crypt because there's a crypt under that church. So we installed our equipment just outside of the crypt. We had like massive responses, and I work with a psychic medium. Her name is Leticia, and she's awesome. We did an Estes method, and it was a plain old discussion with Benjamin and Leticia. And at one time, he just shouted her name, and Leticia in Quebec, it's not really a common name. And to have that go through on the radio, it's it's pretty out there. All right. It's pretty out there. So don't miss it. Don't if you don't watch it this Friday, it's okay. Rewatch it, but you don't want to miss this one. It's awesome. And as always, I come in, I'm all stressed out, and I forgot to thank you guys for being there, for liking the videos, for watching them, for giving me pointers, for telling me constructive. Uh, ugh, I forgot. I'm losing my English. I'm really, really sorry. What is your scariest place I film? I think it was the Moore Cemetery. The Moore Cemetery. It was an old, abandoned family plot. It was like secluded in the forest. But when I came there, they had some kids fishing. And when I was investigating, they came out and they got into their car and they're away. But I didn't want, like, I was alone and I'm more afraid of the living than the dead. And yeah, I was like, but I had like incredible results. And I'm gonna go back there because I've promised the Moore family that I wanted to go back and investigate that place. And yeah, that was a crazy place there. And I think, yeah, the Maplewood Cemetery, it was kind of creepy. Like to open that open crypt, just knowing that that crypt that it had coffins in there and like I've been investigating, like, for really investigating for about a year, but I've been fascinated by the paranormal since I was about 14, 15 years old, and I'm 48. And I've been watching, like, most of the, I would say, best paranormal investigators out there. Yes, you have like the Travel Channel, and you have the, well, you have the Overnight Crew, TFIL. Those guys are good. You have Lomar. You have Carl Asal from Dark Arts TV in the UK. That guy's good. Um, Dark Territory and Whipping Willow Paranormal. Those girls are excellent. Them and Paranormal XP. I want so much to work with them. I like the way they work. I like they're like me. They're like, okay, there's something there. Like, they don't just like, yeah, and then yeah, more afraid of the living and more the dead. Yeah, and those girls are excellent. So one day I want to work with them, and yeah, they're great girls. Yeah, and I'm in contact with Cassie from Whipping Willow, and I think we're gonna do a big, good, big collab. We have something coming in the States. I'm working on a project down there for you paranormal buffs. It's in Vermont. So I just like probably gave it away. Yeah, yeah, I'm looking out to going and investigate down south because, well, the reality in Quebec is like people are afraid of ghosts. And I will tell you why. For many years, the Catholic Church here in Quebec, they went like tell everybody that ghosts were like evil. And if you had ghosts in your house, like you were inviting evil into your house and you were living a bad life, so evil spirits were come and like haunt you. So when you go ahead and ask for a location, sometimes even old jails, old ass prison that dates back to the 1800s, well, they refuse. They like, I was said no by an organization that, well, they take care of an old prison here in Quebec, and it was said that the kind of work that I do doesn't cope with the direction that we're going with the prison. So, and yeah, proving demons, Andrew. Yeah, Andrew. I started, actually, I started watching Andrew and Exploring with Fighters Dan through, well, Exploring with Josh. Eh? Who doesn't know Josh? Well, and yeah, Andrew he's awesome. He's excellent. And one of these days, if he comes across the pond, well, I know he's from the States, but if he comes to Canada, I want to welcome them in a couple of places that I'm working on here in Quebec. Well, they they can't always say no. Well, that's my motto. Uh, yeah, paranormal files. Yeah, Colin, that kid he's awesome. He's awesome. Like they're all excellent creators out there, and just like yeah, I've been watching them. I've been watching TV shows. I don't know if you guys remember Tap's Team. Yeah, I know. Yeah, those problems, but nevertheless, they were great investigators, and they were like the OGs. And if we work with K2s and flashlights today, it's because of them. They're the ones that started. Bobby McKee, yeah, I've seen a couple of investigations down there. I know that Angelo, a creator from Canada, went there, and yeah, one of these days I want to go down in the States and go around and like Penhurst, yeah, or Waverly Hills. Well, we have sanitariums here in Quebec, but like we have one near where I live. But the town decided to like forbid the owner of hosting events in the building. So basically, the town council like kind of like condemn the building and just leave it there to rot and like with paranormal activity in there like crazy because I know some investigators that went there and it's Ghost in the House. And thank you for being here. Thank you. Good night. And I'll see you soon. And thank you again for being there, Ghost in the House. And love you. Thank you. Yeah. And one of these days, I just hope to work with one of those creators because just the way they work, just the way their their approach to the spirits, because don't forget those spirits, whatever they did in their life, well, mostly the good ones, not the serial killers and other crazy idiots. Sorry. Yeah. Well, they're our ancestors, so we have to respect them. So that's my approach when I go into a graveyard. Sorry, I thought my dog was eating the cat's food. So, uh, yeah, when I go into a graveyard, I go there with respect, and if you don't respect them, they won't talk to you. And I don't know if you remember my last investigation in Rivière-la-Gare. There was that last surviving relative of that family that came by. And when he came by, I just tell you, the energy went down a notch. I don't know what's the deal with that community, what's the deal with that family, but as soon as he came, and I think we had like warnings from the spirits that he was coming. And the spirit that was telling us to leave, well, probably he was telling us to leave because he was probably about to come back and screw investigation up again. So yeah, I would live with a ghost. I would live. Yeah, Rich. Yeah. If it's a good spirit. Well, the thing is, the bad spirit, eh, I'm not an expert. I'm not a, that's my theory, right? For me, a bad spirit would be something that you bring, like playing Ouija or doing a seance or whatever. But the purely, like, not saying intelligent, but let's say a dead person, if he comes back, well, his energy will like try to communicate. It's not something that wants you bad. It's something that probably wants closure with his life, probably wants to tell a loved one that he loves them, or that he dug like all his riches in the backyard. I don't know. But I've seen and I've read some books about demonology, and what I've heard about it is if you call in a demon or if you call in whatever you want, you don't have any control on them. So I don't play with Ouija boards. I've did it once, and I was young, and I was done. I'm not saying that those who play or those who work with Ouija boards are dumb. No, I'm not saying that. For me, I'm not I'm not in that thing. I want to communicate with uh, I want to communicate with our ancestors. I want to clarify history because history it's kind of like we write or what we heard about. It's what is written by those who were there. So sometimes when you don't know a family or a person, you want to know about them. So if you have answers, if you have responses, and you go and study those persons, probably the responses that you have now make sense. And I'm not a big philosopher, but I believe, and yeah, you see, Rich, nothing happened. So, and for me, the house I was in, it was my hometown, and it was a history of a man that hung himself. Sorry, YouTube, I'm not even monetized yet. So, yeah, sadly, a man, well, took his life in this house. So, and that was the story in the town, but it was a story. It was, we didn't know it was true. So, yeah, we played Ouija in that house, and it wasn't good. So, yeah, I was about to say that I'm not a big philosopher, but I believe that we all have energies in us, right? We all have like electricity in our brains. We use only like a small percentage of our brains, right? In those parts that we don't use, there is energy that is stored in that part of the brain. When you die, where does that energy goes? And I've heard about people that were using parts of their brain that we don't use, like us normal people, that were do, able to do like incredible things. So, and it is said that probably if you use like 20% or 25% of your brain, you're gonna turn up crazy. So all that energy that is stored in your brain when you die, where does it go? So that's why I believe that uh, when you die, Well, it's that energy that goes and it's in the air, or I don't know. For me, my point of view on the paranormal, or mostly the kind of like, uh, not saying like intelligent entities, but like the kind of energies you would find like in a graveyard, or where something happened, like where somebody was, his life was taking like brutally, or somebody that had an accident, or you know. So for me, I believe that when it happens, that energy is like liberated, or sometimes it's like impregnated into like the wood. Or I read somewhere that like, noble materials like wood, rocks, certain types of rocks like, limestone, granite, I heard about, and water. Those are real good conductors for electromagnetic energies, and especially like spirits. The stone tape here, yeah, exactly, Tex. Exactly. There's a place here in Quebec. I'm gonna go investigate it. It's called the Citadel. It's an old fortification. It's an old French fortification that was taken back by the English in 1759, at the battles of the Plain, and it's still an active military base. So I have to get those authorization by the CEO of the base, and I'm kind of in contact with some people that are in contact with the CEO of the base. And when I was working there were some tunnels under the citadel, and you would sit in those tunnels, and you could hear people walking up and down, like the soldiers going out on the field to fight, because those tunnels were like popping in the field. So yeah. So, and when I was closing up, when I was working there, I was working as a cook. I was a chef, so I was working in the kitchens. And yeah, I always had an impression that somebody was still there. I went around and I went questioning, and nobody was around. So I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna investigate that place, and it's gonna be incredible. And I want to bring some creators there. I want to do big, and I know because I was offered that it could be like a big overnight investigation, because there's sleeping accommodation in the citadel. So I have like confirmation, but yeah, it's just I have to give them the date. So yeah, I won't take your guys' time much longer. Just a half hour. It was like, for my first time, it's like, for me, it's like incredible. I thank you guys in the world. You're so incredible. Thank you, thank you, thank you again. And yeah, yeah, there you go, Rich. Rich, there you go, boy. You're a mod now, buddy. You guys are the best. You make my day every day when you watch my videos, and you just like tell me that, wow, it's incredible, because when I film them, I feel so overwhelmed. I I want to show those those proofs. I want to show the thing that I catch. I want to share them with you guys, and it's so awesome. It's so an awesome community. So thank you again. Thank you. And yeah, I don't want to sound cheesy, but like I have a merch store, and every item on the store, every item, like I say always, every item sold, $1 goes to a foundation that helps veteran. It's the Pendulum, and my service dog is provided by the Pendulum. So all that money goes there. So, and part of it goes for gas money. All right. So thank you again. I love you guys, and don't miss this Friday's video. It's gonna be a great one. I think you're gonna love this one. All right. So you guys take care, and I'll catch you on the next paranormal adventure. See you guys.